Hello, and welcome to this Blender quick tip sorts for doing a day-night sort of rotating Earth thing. This is, and basically people have been there. Alright, there are a bunch of different methods for doing this. I mean, there's the Andrew Price method for doing a day-night mix, which is essentially just doing a mix setup with a mixed node with the diffuse as the day side and a emission of the night side, and then just basically setting the mix factor really, really low so that the part that's in the shadow will glow and the part that's in the day will only show the day side. And that's kind of cheesy and dumb. And there are some other methods that involve using math and stuff, and I'm not a big fit, but this is my method, and as you can see from the animation that played before I started talking, it works pretty well. So let's just do a quick walkthrough for how that works. So start with a sphere, obviously. I've cranked up my rings and segments to segments 42, rings 24, because that makes for a better sphere, especially after you do the add the subdiv surface and everything else. So go into edit mode because we got to do the unwrap. So delete the vertices at the poles. Oops. No. Select those rings. No. God damn it. Let's reselect that one. Go to top view. Extrude, stop, scale, shift Z, scale down a lot. Front, and then scale Z to bring it back up slightly. That's pretty good. Front, then we open up our UV image editor, select all, unwrap, sphere projection, make sure you got clip to bounds and scale to bounds, and you know, that's pretty good. Well, one last thing that you can do is you can, just so that the hole is completely invisible. Nope. Damn it. Scale, shift Z, 0. And scale, shift Z, 0. Alright. So that's it. That's the sphere. And we're good. We can do smooth shade. Add modifier. Subdiv surface. So that's 2. And it's pretty alright. Let's double check that the... Yeah, there's a little bulge on the pole, but it's not too bad. Okay, so now that we have our sphere set up and unwrapped, then we just go straight to doing the node. So go to materials, new material. Oh, well, before we do the materials, let's do a sun lamp, rotate on the Y to 90 degrees. So it's essentially the sun's just pointing straight that way, so that's how it looks in cycles. If we go to the world and use nodes on the world, turn the strength all the way down, then there we go. Okay, so as you can see, you've got sort of the terminator, got a little bit of blur there, light side, night side. I'm actually going to bring this back up to 1 because it's going to be demonstrative for some other things. So we go to the node editor, and we have, oh, that's the world. Is that the world? That's not the world, that's the sun. Okay, here we go. So, you know, default diffuse. So I'm going to show you setting up what actually controls the mix before I add the earth textures. So the way to control the mix is really simple. Just go in texture, gradient texture, linear gradient, and then input on the vector texture coordinate object. And we take that color and we plug it in there. There it is. If I turn off the sun and bring up the strength here, you can see that the gradient's a little too far, because it basically sets the full black to the gradient and then does the gradient to there. So in order to correct that, we just do converter color ramp, plug that in, and then just move white over until, let's set this back down to 0 and bring the sun back. And if we mute you and you, no, unmute you, see that it's it's close enough. I mean, you get it's a little less fuzzy than it is, but it's pretty, and I can move that out a little bit, and then I can just add a vector mapping node right in the middle there and change its X location. Oops. Move the X location back slightly, but that starts to get harder to tell. If it's actually matching the Terminator, but about right there. That's good. 0.040 on a default size sphere works pretty good. Alright, so now that we have, maybe not, I don't know if I like that at all. So you know what, actually no, we're going to leave that as it is. That's going to go to about there. And there we go. This will be our mix. So pull that off of the diffuse. Ding. Ding. And then we just add image texture. I already loaded up all these image textures. So we've got the Earth JPEG. This is the blue marble image you can get from just Google NASA blue marble. You can find it, and that's public domain because it's from NASA. And then the bump, the normal map, vector normal, nope, vector normal map. Let's make sure to set that to non-color data, plug that into color, plug that into normal. Let's actually make the sun a little bit brighter. Nope, that wasn't what I wanted. There we go. Get back to the sphere. And the normal map I got by Googling, I just Googled Earth normal map, and I'm forgetting the name of the person who created it, but his license for it is just, an open, everybody's free to use it because he created it using an open source program that pulls a lot of USGS data and stuff and generates a normal map out of it. I think he created that program as well. But yeah, it's free to use for whatever. So we do our mix shader, plug it in. We actually want the diffuse going to the bottom. And shader, emission shader. We can do texture, image texture again, and then the Earth at night, which is another thing that I just got from NASA. We do color. You can even plug color to strength if you wanted, and then emission, ding. And there we go. And that's all that set up. And then you just take the output from your color ramp, plug that into vector, and that's your day side and your night side. Let's go back to the front. And that works. But then, okay, issue, then I'm sure you're asking, what about, rotating it? Because if I take this and just rotate it on Z, everything moves with it, and it looks kind of dumb. So the way to do the rotation is add an armature, single bone. Let's turn X-ray on for him. And then parent with empty groups your sphere to the bone. And then go back into the sphere, select everything, vertex groups, assign to the bone. And then if you go to the bone and pose mode, then you can do RY, select it, of course. Then I'm going to go back into rendered mode. RY 23 degrees, which is about the Earth's axial tilt. And as you can see, that moved the texture, but all the texture got moved, but the mix stayed where it was. And then you can just RYY, and that's the axis of the bone. That'll be the local Y of the bone. When you rotate that, that'll rotate the Earth and get you your day and night switching. Obviously this isn't rendering super fast because... Why isn't this rendering super fast? This is on GPU. Whatever. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. One thing to keep in mind, if you're going to do, build a whole orrery setup, where you're going to have a sun object, and the Earth is rotating around the sun, then to do that, you have to use your mapping node, and then rotate. You'll have to animate your rotation of the mapping node to match the direction of the sun. I've tried doing setups where I would have a separate bone that was parented to the Earth and it had a track 2 constraint pointing it straight at the sun, and then tried to do a driver of the rotation of the bone to the Z rotation, and it just straight up didn't work. Because I guess the track 2 constraint doesn't, even though it moves it, it doesn't actually change what all of its Euler rotations are. Sorry. But yeah, you can just manually move it, or if you're not going to do an actual straight sun object, like a sphere that is the sun. I'm waving my hands around and you can't see them. You probably could do the sun, Earth. Let's go back to globe. You could do add single driver to that Z rotation, and then let's go to our curve editor. Graph editor, sorry. Curve drivers. Z rotation mapping. Up N. Variable goes by sun, lamp, Z rotation. Now I believe that will just be scripted expression, some value. Now if this works properly, do RZ on the sun. Oh wait, if I that's weird. Why is that X rotation? Oh, Okay, maybe I did just hook that up wrong. Switch it to X rotation instead. Though I think if I remember correctly, they have to be in. Nope, that actually works. Yeah, Well, that'll work. So then you can have the rotation, have the sun object rotating, and, well, not the sun object, but the sun lamp rotates. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this. I mean, it's not super detailed, but that's how I do it. That's how I did the animation that I attached in the foreground. And it's a method that I think works better than methods that other people use. Have a nice day.